Hello, all. We are learning the Simulink library blocks. So we have learned a various Simulink library blocks like continuous block, discrete blocks, logic bit operation blocks. Now we will learn about ports and subsystems. So mainly subsystems, we everyone will have a few of the questions. I think so. What is subsystem? Why we use subsystem? What are the types of subsystem and all this? Okay, so first I'll answer you the what is a subsystem. A subsystem is a group of Simulink blocks. These blocks are used to execute a function. The subsystems are either virtual or non-virtual. By default, they are virtual, meaning that depending on a logic is Simulink model. The blocks present in the same subsystem may not execute simultaneously. So that Simulink calculate the execution order of the blocks inside the model based on their internal interdependencies. So let's see how we can have execution orders and all this thing in a further videos when we see in detail. So basically, what is types of what is mean by subsystem in a simple way? If someone want to understand, it is a collection of logic or it's a group of blocks. It's a wrapper of our logic. So there are various meanings. It's a collection of logic or it's a group of blocks. It's a wrapper of our logic. We can say in that way, we can say the subsystems. So why we use the subsystem? So the better way how you can understand why we use a subsystem. Na? You can think about that. Previously, there is no PCB, printed circuit board. So there are various wired connection we are doing. So various wire connection are written, and it's very complicated to understand that wire connection. If something is mismatched, if something is disconnected, or something is happened, so it's very dangerous and harmful in that wired connection. So to that better option, that printed circuit boards are kept. So same like in Simulink also, imagine what will happen if we are like connected all logic at one level itself. Here we haven't implemented a very big project, but when we are implementing some projects, we have some like categories. Suppose if I am implementing a project of adaptive cruise control ACC, there I have two different model. One is plant model, another one is a controller model. So I can divide that plant model in another subsystem, controller model in another subsystem. Instead of developing all logic at one level, it is a better practice. We can use a subsystem according to requirement. So if we want something like ACC, in that if you want some brake calculation, we can make one subsystem for a brake calculation. If we want to make some acceleration or speed calculation, we can make one logic in another subsystem of speed calculation and all in that way. So we can divide the logics in some different subsystems, and we can collect all subsystem together at one level, at a top level, which is a main subsystem of our model or logic, we can say. So basically, there are mainly two types of subsystem. One is unconditionally executed subsystem. Another one is conditionally executed subsystem. So what is unconditionally executed subsystem? So that unconditionally executed subsystem are also known as a virtual subsystems. Okay, that also known as a virtual subsystem. So these subsystems are used only for design simplicity. It's not anything like to do something like to perform some operation or something. It's only used for design simplicity, and that means it's look a like it's look better model, like better Simulink model purpose we can use this. Okay, this unconditionally executed subsystem. So another one is conditionally executed subsystem. So this conditionally executed subsystem is also known as non-virtual subsystems. Okay, non-virtual subsystems. So these subsystems are used for conditionally execution of a Simulink model, where we have various conditions like enable condition if you want to enable some subsystem, or like trigger condition, or like loop conditions like for loop, while loop conditions, or like function conditions. So you can see in this diagram here we have various types of subsystems. Even I'll open this library also. Okay, so here you can see we have different types of subsystem. These are the virtual subsystem where we are coming with a variant manager as well. Okay, so you can see here in the subsystem, and this is a normal subsystem, this is atomic subsystem. We have various types of subsystem here. You can see enable trigger if else condition subsystem, or like some resettlement subsystem, like many more subsystems are here, and some function blocks are also here, like enable trigger or function call generation, or like some input, like we want to take some signal from a bus, one signal only from a bus, that answer we can take. These ports are also here. Okay, so you can see here in a simple way we have two types of subsystem, that is conditionally and unconditionally executed. Is also known as virtual and non-virtual. So virtual subsystem, that normal subsystem. Okay, and that variant subsystem is also coming under virtual, but variant also we can make in some, it's virtual only where we can perform any one operation at a time. When we learn that in detail, then we can see the variant management and variant subsystem as well. Okay, so next one is like non-virtual subsystem, so atomic subsystem, specially used for code generation, where it can treat a top level subsystem as a main function. When we are generating a code, there is a code generation manipulation, then trigger, enable trigger, functional call generation subsystem. These are some loop subsystem where it's use of while iteration subsystem, for iteration subsystem, each for each iteration subsystems. Then we can have some conditional branches, switch case or if else case, function generation, and we have state manipulations also, where we have termination of a function, reset or initial function or restable function, and the Matlab function. These are the types of subsystem, various types of subsystem. We will learn one by one that subsystem in further sessions. Okay, so that's all about the subsystem and introduction to the subsystem. Thank you. Bye.